Hey, what is going on out there? Welcome to the first ever Fishin'MagicianTV.com podcast. I'm your host, Chris Figario, and I hope to bring you a great show that you will love to listen to every single week. We are going to kick off today's episode with some fishing reports, but also later on in today's show, we have a great interview with Captain Jerry Postorino out of the Point Pleasant area on the Fsih Monger. Great captain, been doing this for years, very knowledgeable captain, knows a lot of places to fish, great spots, and he will definitely put you on some meat. Now, let's kick it off with some of our sponsors that we have who support and sponsor the show. If it wasn't for them, this wouldn't be possible. M3 Tackle makes great spoon rigs and a whole bunch of other products. We'll get into their products a little bit later. S&S Bucktails, Toggy Time Jigs, Nor'easter Wear, and Tony Maja products. Thank them all for sponsoring and supporting our show. And we're going to kick this off with a local fishing report. As far as Raritan Bay is concerned in New Jersey, right now the season is fluke fishing. For those in other parts of the country, around here we call summer flounder fluke. As far as the bay is concerned, there are some keepers being caught, but there is more shorts than anything. The water is a bit too hot. I've found in my personal experience of fishing this season that the bigger fish have been hanging out in 80 foot of water to about 120 feet. I fish a lot of structure. I lose a lot of jigs. And thank God S&S Bucktail supports us because I do go through a lot of stuff. But my biggest fluke this season was 8.25 pounds. I did not catch a doormat this year. So far at least. Usually I start off my season early May in the Raritan Bay area where it's about 10 feet of water. One of my secret spots to go to is actually inside of Atlantic Highlands Marina. It's not really a secret, but a lot of people don't realize that really big fish like to hang out there. But that has not been the case this season. I have fished all over the marina, on all the docks, the jetties, and the pier over there, and I did not get a single bite. I think it has to do with sand replenishment and dredging that's going on in the bay. I don't think it's because of overfishing. I just think that if you destroy the habitat, the fish are not going to come back. As far as striped bass are concerned, in the bay, not too much going on. They are still catching schoolies, and those are residential fish. But for people who think that for striped bass, you should only fish with them 2 months in the spring and 2 months in the fall, you're completely wrong, man. Some of the biggest bass I have ever caught has been in the dog days of summer, here in August. I mean, I can't give you exact locations because of captains and friends that put me on those spots, so I want to respect their spots. But when I fish for stripers in the spring or fall, I will gladly give you any information you want to know. I'm always down to help somebody who is learning or wants to learn or just wants to catch a fish. Now, me personally, what I'm waiting for is that blackfish season. I have been hooked on blackfishing for the past 4 years, and I have become a togaholic, definitely. Right now, blackfish season is open, but you can only keep one fish per man. That is the regulation at this time. For those who don't know what blackfish is, the scientific name for it is tautog. We call them tog for short, but just better known in our area as blackfish. And I can't wait for that to happen, man. I mean, yes, it sucks being out there in the freezing cold and you can't feel your fingers. But the moment that blackfish hits and that you feel that fight, that is such an amazing feeling, and I can't wait for it in November and December. Now, along with our fishing reports, we do have some reps in other parts of the country. So we're going to hand it over to a Skype call with AAron from Vero Beach. And then we'll talk to Fabrizzi, Captain Greg Fabrizzi, of MANIC Sport Fishing down in the Florida Keys, Marathon, Florida. So stay tuned. Hope you enjoy.
Hey, buddy, might be chopped up there a little bit. We're out here on the rocks at the Sebastian Inlet in Florida. I'm AAron with Fish On, Fish On. I know some of you guys are familiar with me from back home. My back home is southern New Jersey, right outside of Fsih. Been here in Florida for about 3 years now.
Nice, man. Congrats. I know the fishing is definitely different from where you came from where you are now. So,
Yeah, for sure.
what are some of the things you're catching out there right now?
So some of the species I'm targeting is snook. We definitely get our occasion jack in and out. The jacks here are like bluefish back north. So it's something that's just seems to always be in the water, sometimes better than others. And right now, with the water being a lot warmer and a lot of the bait fish being in the water, it seems like they're around more prevalent. But I'm targeting snook because the snook seem to be in here heavier than any other big game species to target.
Yeah, definitely, man. About jacks. They don't taste very well. I
Yeah.
was out there a couple months in the Keys, man, a couple months ago, and I hooked into I think it was about a 42-pound amberjack. And
Yeah.
let me tell you something, a bluefish fight, but this thing was like a bluefish on crack, man. That was awesome. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, they got it.
I didn't enjoy eating it very much because I've never ate it, and I'll try everything once, but that the fight that it gave me was definitely worth it.
I'll tell you this: the fight's amazing, right? It's definitely, in my opinion, better than a bluefish. But
Definitely.
I will tell you, when it comes to eating the fish down here, you have to be really picky and choosy. We we use, I want to say, or we see weak fish as like a filet mignon back north, right? Especially the
Yeah.
past couple years, they were hard to catch. They were basically, not there. And when you caught one, you were like, oh yes, nice soft white meat, clear meat, no worms. It's amazing meat, right? Well,
Yeah.
we catch a couple sea trout down here, some speckled trout, and I'm thinking same deal. It's going to be amazing. We pulled 6-inch worms out of every fillet that we filleted, and yeah, I was so turned off pulling these snot rockets out of these fish fillets. Nope,
Yeah,
not doing it.
that doesn't sound that appetizing, but yeah.
No, yeah, that went to dog food, unfortunately.
No, man, but hey, at least the dog had some good food, I hope.
Had some damn good food that night.
Oh man. So what are some of the things that you use? What type of gear, what type of bait?
All right, so type of bait that I'm using right now, and again, if you guys didn't hear it in the beginning for breakup and service purposes, we're out here at the Sebastian Inlet, so it's kind of like your Absecon Inlet or your Egg Harbor Inlet, where high tide rips, low tide, outgoing tide rips, and you're looking for the change in tides, like to slow down to where you can pitch these artificial baits. If you want to sit out here all day and soak a shrimp or a mullet or a pinfish, croaker, some live bait, you can do that. But I found catching these bigger snook and redfish, I'm using, it's by Rapala. I don't know if you guys can see this here, but
Nice.
it's their twitching minnow, dude, right? I'm not a fan of spending $14, dude, for a lure. I'll
Uh-huh.
use plastics or some kind of swim bait that kind of like imitates that lure, but I did it. I broke the wallet. I paid for it, and I have damn near caught all of my really big snook on that twitching minnow.
Wow.
So twitching minnow definitely is, one of my suggestions. It actually doesn't have treble hooks. They set it up for more of like a snook mouth or striper mouth, to where you're not having treble hooks flying around in your fingers and damaging the fish. So it's a
Yeah.
lot easier to get out to when you hook something big.
Yeah, treble hooks, they do serve a purpose, but they are a pain in the butt to work with. They do rip a lot of nets, and they do rip a lot of fingers on top of that.
Yeah,
But I
if you
mean,
don't have proper lighting, man, on the rocks at night, and you're
yeah,
worried about
definitely.
getting washed off, you hook a big bluefish, it's gonna hurt you.
Yeah, man. I mean, a snook is something I have not caught yet. It is on the bucket list along with redfish, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to actually get back down to Florida in December. We got to see how this whole COVID-19 keeps playing out, but I'm definitely trying to get back down there. I'm gonna probably spend a week down there, halfway in the Keys, halfway in on the mainland, and hopefully we can hook up, catch some redfish and snook.
No, for sure, man. December, um, January, February, right in that swing of like, in that cold winter months back north. Here, it seems the schools of bigger mullet, or I mean, really anything, just seems to be pushing out into the mouths of these inlets. So I found on the nasty, shitty days where none of the locals want to really be out here, if you're out here and you're weathering the 65-degree weather with a little bit of rain, which doesn't sound like nothing, right?
Yeah, to us.
Redfish are here, man, and the snook are here, dude. And you know, we grabbed. It was me and my lady a couple months back. We grabbed a dozen shrimp and live lined some shrimp with a small egg sinker, you know, like a fish finder rig, almost slider rig. And we had the biggest redfish of my life, man. It was close to 40 pounds.
Wow.
I mean, pushing close to 50 inches. Like, this thing was just, it was ridiculous. It was a donkey.
Man,
Sure.
you get me amped up. I can't wait to get down there.
Yeah. I have the boat ready too.
I chose December. I chose December to go down there because my vacation, you know, I have to use it before the end of the year, and
of course.
I got a buddy named Captain Eric Kerber, who runs the Deborah K on a mission fishing, and he used to go down to the Keys every winter to charter out there, and he told me January is the best snook fishing time.
Yeah.
So I can't use my vacation time in January, so I'm gonna try and push it in like mid-December and get down there before Christmas, and hopefully we'll get some.
Yeah, well, listen, I tell you, you know, something I learned just from doing it, man. I went to Cape Cod for the first time 2 months too early. I went to Montauk for the first time 2 months too early. So it was like the more research I did, and really you just have to put boots on the ground. You got to get out there and test the waters. But if I can give you one bit of, you know, kind of a heads up, later in the season, January to, you know, the end of February seems to be where, like, it's on fire, man. I mean, you can go to Walmart, buy a $5 rod and some cut mullet and make it happen at the inlet, you know?
Nice. That's awesome.
But
that's awesome, man.
I pulled this out of the box here in front of me so you guys can get a better little shot of her. You see the single hooks there, man.
Yeah, that's a pretty bait. That is a pretty bait.
No lip, dude. It's got maybe like a foot and a half, you know, submerged, and then it just literally twitches along, dude. And you really don't have to do much.
So you're using that on top water, or are you putting your weight to get it down a little bit?
So what I do is I do a shock leader. I do a really, really small swivel. I mean, again, if you want to send links over to my page, I have everything in the comments or on my page on what I'm using, but super small barrel swivels, dude. I think I have 15-pound braid to Power Pro to a barrel swivel, super small. Maybe it holds 100 pounds tension to a 40-pound pink fluorocarbon leader, and then tie that directly to the lure.
Wow,
that's just kind of letting it do its own thing and trying to make it free, suspend, and natural as possible, you know?
Okay, good, man. That's some good local knowledge there. I'm sure everybody that wants to visit Florida will definitely use that, and that's awesome, man. And if you want to hook up with AAron, I will put a link to his page down at the bottom where you can contact him and see if you guys get out and catch some fish.
Yeah, man. I'm always open to help, dude, and especially get the younger ones on the water. Chris, we were talking about before, I have the boat ready probably within a month, and I'm telling you, man, this thing is going to be the black pearl for us. Fish finders, all new state-of-the-art kind of, you know, units, and really nice trolling motor up on the bow, dude. It's going to get us where we need to go, especially when you get down here, man.
Nice, man. I mean, when I was down there, me and you were supposed to hook up, but unfortunately, because of hotel reservations and me not realizing it took 11 hours to drive through Florida, you know what I'm saying? That's a long-ass state. But definitely, man, I will get back down there and we will fish together, definitely, for sure.
Looking forward to it, man. I'm gonna post some videos to your page, man, and maybe we can do this on a monthly basis. I'm gonna try and hit the inlet maybe this weekend and do a little snorkeling. I had an idea on trying to catch some of these big snook that are hiding in there. Maybe hand feed them some live pins or something, man, and get it on film for you guys.
That'd be nice. Yeah, if you could catch that on video, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, but hey, listen, let me get back at it, and hopefully I'll have a fish for you guys later on here.
All right, man. Sounds good. Thank you, AAron, for the Vero Beach, Florida fishing report, and we'll hear from you soon.
That's it. Stay in touch, guys.
Tight lines. Welcome, Captain Gregory Fabrizzi, down there in Marathon, Florida. How's it going, Greg? You want to introduce yourself for everybody?
Yeah, man, it's going great. It's Captain Greg, running a business down here in Marathon, Florida. It's called MANIC Sport Fishing. You see it on the shirt here. Started out in New Jersey, came down here years ago, right after Irma. Started out with a 31 Steiger, still running it. twin 300 Yamahas, air conditioning, bathroom, fridge, microwave, outriggers, you name it, rear station. We got it. We're rigged for inshore, offshore. We don't do flats fishing, but we do everything else but. And since I'm down here, we picked up a pontoon, 27-foot pontoon, double decker with a water slide.
Nice.
A lot of families love it. I mean, they come down to Marathon, they come down to the Keys, and it's not like up by you, Chris, where you got the beaches, and I'm from New Jersey. That's where my roots are, and I love me some Belmar. I love those beaches
definitely.
and everything too. But down here, it's different. You could walk out a half a mile, and you're still up to your waist.
Yeah.
So the kids come down and they stay in the resort, and all they're stuck in a pool.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I could say from personal experience, I went down there at the end of July, end of June, I should say, and I went out with Greg, and we were doing 30 knots, and it felt like we were just sailing on smooth winds. I mean, that boat is extremely comfortable, and I think we drove maybe 3 miles, and we filled a cooler full of mutton snappers in like an hour.
Yeah,
It was sick, man. That was great. So, what are you fishing for right now down there?
Well, right now, in the summer, it's real popular. Everybody, you mostly get Floridians in the summertime, or people from Georgia that can drive here. Obviously, with the COVID situation, there are people flying, but generally speaking, in the summer here, you primarily get locals. When I say local, from the same state, if not a state over, and everybody wants to go offshore. They want to catch mahi, they want to catch blackfin tuna. Both freeze very well. Obviously, we know that they taste great, fresh.
Definitely.
But they do freeze well. So pretty much in the summertime, that's when you're racking up the hours because you're doing a lot of 6 and 8 hour trips, offshore. So we're catching mahi right now. We're fishing for mahi every day. We're fishing for blackfin today. Just got in off an 8 hour trip today. Still have some reef trips. There's still some teenage kids and college kids around. So we're doing some 4 hour trips on the reef. And one thing down here, Chris, is the reef is year round.
It's loaded with life, man.
Loaded. It's over 100 miles long, and it'll never fail you. I mean, you got yellowtails.
I was so excited when I got on that red grouper. It wasn't a keeper, but I was just excited. I didn't care, man. It was like I got my grouper. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my bucket list fish, and I got it. So I was really excited that day when I got that. That Great Barrier Reef just has constant life, and it's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's always a lot. I tell everybody when it comes to the grouper, grouper season here. One thing about me and why I have such good reviews and ratings is I tell it the way it is, and. Grouper season opens May 1st in the Keys. Well, in Florida in general. But I can tell you how many red grouper, how many blacks are on a certain spot. And so can virtually anybody around here that fishes as much as we do.
Mm-hmm.
Thing is, there's a lot of good swimmers down here. And they got spear guns.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I remember seeing that. My last day in the Keys there, you were booked, so I didn't get the chance to go out with you. So I went on the, I think it was the Marathon Lady, the party boat.
That's right.
And I'll never forget, I'm dropping down to the bottom, and I'm looking down, and we're probably like 60 foot. And I see a dude just swimming by with a spear gun. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy, man. But I'll never forget that first trip to the Keys, and I brought home 90 pounds of meat.
Oh, I believe it, man. You were here at the right time, for sure.
Between your charter and Jay's charter and the Marathon Lady, we brought home so much food. We brought home red snappers, yellowtails, muttons, and mangrove snappers. I caught a lot of those with you as well. And we've already gone through all of it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We got some hungry mouths in this house, so... Well, I mean,
get back here, or I got to send you some.
No, I'm hoping to get back down there in December, man. I was just talking to AAron in Vero Beach. I'm looking to get down there in December. I have to use my vacation before the year's over, so I'm thinking of staying like 3 or 4 days in the Keys and then a couple days on the mainland, so I can fish with AAron for snooks and redfish. But definitely trying to get out there with you, see if we can catch some mahis or blackfins if they're still in the area, so definitely got to go offshore.
In December won't be around. The blackfin are here kind of year round, and then in the winter time, you get a different batch of fish that move in. They fight hard, You know, the wrecks are lit up, and that's where you're gonna get.
Let me tell you something. My first day down there, I'll never forget when I met up with you because I haven't seen you since you left Jersey. You told me to go to a restaurant, and you handed me a Ziploc bag of red snapper, and you said, "Go to this restaurant and give it a shot." Greg, every single day that I've been in Jersey, I have been thinking about going back to Lazy Days.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best seafood dish I ever had in my life. And a lot of people know me. I fish a lot and I fish hard, but I was never really big on eating fish. Until I went to Marathon. I remember we were hanging out in the pool that night, and you gave me that piece of the blackened mutton. That was delicious, man.
Yeah.
When I came back home, some of the mangrove snapper, I tried the recipe that I found online, but the only recipe I keep finding online is Cajun style. So I gotta see if I can find it the way that they cooked it for you. That was amazing, man. And
I can get it for you.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But it still tasted amazing. It's just it kind of sucks when you have an ulcer and when you get heartburn from eating spicy food. But I mean, delicious, man. I mean, I follow the Lazy Days Instagram page.
Oh yeah.
And every day when I'm going through it, my mouth is just like, oh, I want to go back down there. My wife last week was like, yo, let's go to Florida for 2 days on the weekends. I'm like, are you crazy? I'm not freaking flying down there just for a day just to go have dinner. It's crazy, man. But definitely,
it'll do it to you, man. It'll
do it man. I mean, I'll never forget your words, and I saw it to be true the day that I left Marathon. It hits you hard. The Florida Keys is the easiest place in the world to find, but yet the hardest place to leave. And I see why you packed up from Jersey and went down there, and hopefully one day I can do the same. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal right now.
I'll tell you the truth, Chris. And most people that live here will tell you this. Every day or every week, we get another reason thrown at us to leave. Honestly, the cost of living is insane.
Yeah.
The cost of eating is off the charts. Everything is brought in from the mainland. The Keys consist of 43 bridges, with more islands than bridges, right? So everything that comes in is so expensive. And when you run a charter business, okay, I got 2 boats, I got another one on the way. Again, I'm not looking to make a killing, I'm just looking to make a living.
Yeah.
But the cost of living, you're talking $2,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment without utilities.
Yeah, I know.
Bro, so they make it very difficult here to survive.
Yeah.
But you go off and you go into Fort Lauderdale, or you go to Miami, or listen, my roots are in Jersey. You're never going to hear me say anything bad about Jersey. There's good people. It's a great place. But when I go back, all I'm thinking about is when I'm coming back here, man.
Yeah.
And that's what it does do. So I used to come and I used to pay people to take me fishing, or I worked for other charter guys for years. But when you leave, if that's where you belong. Like
exactly.
if it's got you. And I tell my friends, it's like being in the Caribbean, but you don't need a passport. Think about it. Where you're sitting right now, you could be here in 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
5 to 90 degrees every day. There's palm trees all over the place. The ocean's right behind me.
Oh, man.
That's it. And then in December, it's the same thing. In January, February, March, April. So it's real tough, bro. I mean, you come down here and you do get spoiled. But believe me, my roots are in Jersey.
I was definitely spoiled that week with the fishing, man. I mean, I could honestly say, I have not fished all over the world, but I talked to a lot of guys all over the world who fish. And no matter where they're from, I know people in Australia, I know people in Japan, I know people on the West Coast, and they all tell me the same thing. They all visit the Florida Keys because it is the mecca of fishing down there. You have so much variety, and it's beautiful. It's like nothing you'll ever experience. And if you haven't experienced, you got to get down there and do it. Definitely.
You do. You know what it is, Chris? It's consistent.
Yeah.
It's consistent. So if you go out and you're looking to catch X and the X ain't working that day, you always have Y and Z. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So you're always tight. You're always tight down here. And you're
Yeah,
tight.
it's like right now. It's like right now. I'm sure you remember fluke fishing. I mean, early season we fish right in the bay.
Yeah.
Say
Sure.
the past 2 years, it sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The bay is dead. They're killing it with all the dredging and the sand replenishment and stuff like that. Like all the fish that I've caught this year, early season, mid season, and even now, everything is between 80 foot and 130 feet of water. You know what I'm saying? And the biggest fluke that I've caught this
Really?
season is, the biggest fluke that I've caught this season is 8.2 pounds. 8.2 pounds. I haven't got a doormat this year. You know what I'm saying? Last year I got 6 doormats.
Right.
All between 10.5 and the biggest one last year was 14.7 was my biggest fish last year for fluke. You know what I'm saying? And I actually caught it in New York. But
really? I was in for Rhode Island or Nantucket,
Nah. We were fishing the invisible line, and we were on the New York side, but that's where I got it. But it's still local waters.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but definitely, man. When you get back up here, hey, you gotta see if you can visit up here because it's blackfish season, brother. It's time to get up here. I know that ain't got that in Florida.
Right. I was waiting for you to bring that up because there's a lot of guys down here, believe it or not, that they work the deck, they run boats, and they're from Jersey or New York. And I shit you not. You ask them, what do you miss besides, down to the earth, salt of the earth type of people like you from New York and New Jersey? What do you miss? The answer is always the same thing. Blackfish.
Definitely.
That's it.
Yeah.
They don't miss anything but tog, bro. And and the same thing goes for me. Listen, I love my fluking. I love it. But it ain't, any tog fisherman that's listening knows. You never, the closest thing you're gonna get to that here is a big, like a black grouper.
Yeah.
And these dudes down here think that those fish pull. A 20-pound black grouper.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, a 5-pound tog will make this grouper look like it's dead.
I actually got an interview with the Blackfish King in Jersey for this episode, man. Captain Jerry Postorino. Yeah, he's on here. We're gonna talk about blackfishing.
Yeah, tell him you want to do the interview in front of his Simrad.
No, definitely not. He'll club me with a couple of 24-ounce weights if I do that.
Oh yeah.
Man, but Greg, thank you so much for coming on, man. And if anybody's looking for a charter, definitely hit up Captain Greg Fabrizzi. I will put his information down at the bottom of the screen. You can visit his website, book a charter, and I guarantee you he will put you on some meat. If he doesn't, I'll pay your trip.
Deal.
There you go. All right, guys.
Always good talking to you, Chris, man.
Absolutely, brother. I'll see you soon.
Bro. Stay tight and stay in touch. Say hi to your girl.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so I want to thank Aaron and Greg for those fishing reports and sharing some knowledge with us. But as we spoke about earlier, we're going to go through some of our sponsors' products. Let's start off with M3 tackle spoons. These are primarily used to catch summer flounder, fluke in our area. This is a look at some of the spoons that they offer. I don't have every single type of spoon that they do offer, but I do have some of them so you can get an idea of what we're looking at and what we're talking about. And they also have a bunch of different products besides spoons. They sell jig heads, they sell terminal tackle, all types of rigs for different types of species, extra skirts, all types of stuff. Now, with the spoon, the way it works is you need a very good drift. I mean, don't think you're going to go out there with a spoon and just jig it all day, because that's not going to happen. When you're using a product, you got to know how to use it. And with these spoons, the perfect thing, in my opinion, where it's worked for me, is when I have a drift of about 1.2 knots, 1.1, something like that. Anything less than that, and it doesn't flutter right. But when these things flutter, man, they do put on a show. And if you are a seasoned angler, you know that 90% of your bites are not based on hunger. They're based off a reaction. So if you got this spoon in a fluke's face, you're pissing him off, and that's exactly what you want, because he's gonna attack you to say leave me alone, and that's when you gotta set that hook, man. But they do make some really good products, and they stand behind it 100%. So I would definitely give them a check out. Visit their website, m3tackle.com. I'll put it in the description below. Moving on, sticking with fluke fishing because that is the most popular season that's open right now. We're going to go with S&S bucktails, which is something I use on a regular basis. I do love to jig and bucktail, and S&S makes a very good product, which is 99% pure lead, along with hand forged hooks, and they look really great, man. They do very well for me. I have caught multiple doormats on these products. Just some of the colors and sizes we got here. They got the John Skinner rattletails, they got regular jig heads, they got ball jigs with skirts. Just awesome products, and definitely I recommend, because definitely something that I use every single trip out. I pair it up with either plug bait or gulp, and I just sit there and jig, man. And time and time again, people look at me, oh, you rotten jigger, because they're sitting there fishing like it's 1985 and just putting a squid strip in a spearing. Don't get me wrong, it still works, but you want to have fun. You don't want to sit there with a dead stick all day long. That's kind of boring, so I jig. But they do make some great products, man. Check them out. And Stan is a good guy. He will explain everything he does on all his products. If you have any questions, I'm sure he'd love to answer. Now, as before, like I was talking about blackfish season, for blackfish, I usually fish with a snafu rig and green crab or whatever. There's tons of different bait you can use for blackfish. You can use green crabs, white leggers, hermit crabs, which is one of the best baits you can get, but they are kind of expensive. Me personally, my favorite bait for black fishing, tog fishing, I go pick it up at ShopRite, man. I just pick up a bag of shrimp, frozen shrimp. I let it thaw overnight, and the next day that's what I use. But the big thing that's been passing through our area over the past couple years is jigging for the tog, and I gave it a shot a couple of times, but I did not have the proper setup. But now, thanks to Tackle World and their Jigging World rods, I do have now the proper setup. I bought a Night Ranger rod, and I paired it with a Shimano Stratic C14, and I'm definitely going to give it a shot at jigging this year for tog, because now it is a fast action rod setup that I have. And let me tell you something about this Toggy Time jigs. The owner, Ed, you can see how passionate he is about his product. When he sent me these jigs, he also wrote me a letter, and I saw and felt the passion in that letter that he had. And he is correct with some of the things he said. I mean, it's impossible for some companies to stand behind their product because they put such cheap material on their products. Now, I will not name companies because I don't bash companies. That's not what I do. But as far as jigs for blackfishing, as I've seen, S&S Bucktails also makes blackfish jigs, which is a great blackfish jig, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? But Toggy Time Jigs, something about him is what he spoke about to me when we spoke was about matching the hatch. Now, he's got 5 or 6 different colors for certain areas that you fish. If you fish mussel beds, obviously you got the black texture jigs. If you fish sandy rock areas, you got the sand looking jigs. And then you have your jig that's orange and black, kind of like to match the inside of a broken green crab. And these are all 99% pure lead, and they are hand forged hooks. And Ed stands behind his jig so much that if you break one of his jigs or if a hook fails or anything like that, he will either refund you your money or send you another pack for free. Definitely something I'm going to put to use this year, and I hope you check them out on Instagram. I don't think they have a Facebook page, but check them out on Instagram. Toggy Time Jigs. S&S Bucktails, you can also check them out on Instagram and Facebook, along with M3 Tackle. I'll put all the descriptions at the bottom of the screen so you guys know where to go. And Nor'easter. As you can see, the shirt that I have on is a Nor'easter shirt. It's a dry fit performance shirt. It's really hot in this studio room right now, and I'm sweating, but this shirt, the more that I sweat, it turns cold, which is actually pretty great. I mean, when I'm out on the water and the sun is beaming on me and I'm sweating, and the more that I'm sweating, I'm getting colder, I'm feeling great. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are like, why are you wearing long sleeve shirts? It's hot outside. They don't understand how cool that I am right now. I mean, this one in particular right now is a short sleeve shirt, but it feels great. It's comfortable. It's not restricting at all. And I'm a big guy, and they do have sizes for, you know, bigger gentlemen. They have clothes for ladies. They have everything you need. These are some of their hats. Really great work, stitching and everything like that. Definitely check them out. Now, our final sponsor for the show is Tony Maja Products. If you're a bass fisherman, especially a boat bass, striped bass fisherman, and you haven't heard about Tony Maja, what century are you living in? Look, every real fisherman will tell you their preferred method of fishing is not trolling because it's boring. Yeah, I agree with that. But when I want to catch a trophy-sized fish, or if I'm in a tournament, I have to go with the method that is proven to be effective. And trolling has been a very proven, effective method for striped bass fishing. Now, Tony Maja started out with spoons, which is basically, it mimics a dying bunker. And if you know about striped bass love the easy prey, so they attack it pretty good. They got a variety of different sizes and different colors. Me personally, I like the silver. I keep it, you know, as simple as possible. And you could also do a double time rig, go with a spoon and a mojo. But he does offer also full mojo setups. Variety of different colors, white, chartreuse. And for those who say there is no way in hell I'm trolling, if you still want a jig for them, you got the Maja Castaway jig. I mean, these things, they weigh about, they go from 3 to 6 ounces, and they work great. I have used them myself, and I cannot complain. Tony Maja is the man when it comes to the striped bass world. I hope you give all our sponsors a like and a follow on all their Instagram and Facebook accounts, and check them out, man. They do make good stuff, and hopefully in the future episodes we can get some of them on here so they can explain it a lot better than me, because I'm a doof. But yeah, give them all a check out and see if they have something that will work for you in particularly, or if you have an open mind and want to try something new, definitely check them out. Alright guys, how you doing? I'm here with Captain Jerry Postorino aboard the Fsih Monger Charter Boat. I'll let him introduce himself.
How we doing, guys?
Alright, so how did it all get started for you? How old were you? When did you decide you wanted to be a charter boat captain?
I started working on the head boats when I was really young. Little kid, bucket scrubber.
Yeah?
Yep. And I slowly climbed up the ladder, and luckily I got it working under a good captain, so
that's good.
Put me under his wing, and the rest is history.
That's good, that's good. So, what boat was that?
I started on the Cock Robin.
The Cock Robin?
Yep.
That's a nice name for a boat.
Cock Robin and the Norma Cay.
Nice.
That's where I spent most of my my teens.
That's good. That's good. So, what is the Fsih Monger? What kind of boat is it?
It's a 46-foot custom U.S. Coast Guard inspected charter boat.
Okay.
Powered by twin 450 Cummins.
All right. What kind of electronics you use on here?
Simrad North Star.
Okay.
You know.
Is that what you preferred, or is that what came with the boat?
Yeah, no, we swapped everything out.
Okay.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
for the bottom fishing.
Yeah, I hear you.
Simrad's aces for the bottom fishing.
I've seen that Simrad. It's got like 60,000 spots on it.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, because of bottom fishing, what is your favorite species to fish for?
It's close between fluke and blackfish. I probably had to say blackfish edges it out, but I enjoy the fluke. And really, I enjoy fishing for everything we have in our
Pretty much
inshore
everything.
waters, you know.
Yeah, but there's nothing like that blackfish. That tug is definitely addictive.
But the challenge of the blackfishing, that definitely
gets you.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people say, like, to me, like, for instance, I hate porgy fishing. It's too easy. You know what I'm saying? They ask me what I prefer to fish for, and I say blackfish. And, you know, they always say, oh, but that's annoying. You lose so many rigs and so many sinkers and stuff like that, but it's the challenge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what always gets me.
I like porgy and sea bass and triggerfish, you know, some meat trips and take the family out, you know. And,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's great for the, you know, great table fare, you know, and they're plentiful. It's great for the kids at the action, you know.
And at the end of the day, man, they taste really, really good.
Yeah, you can load up on them, you know, when the season's right.
Yeah, I hear that. So, what do you expect out of your crew, like your mates and stuff like that?
Pretty hard on my mates, not gonna lie.
I know that.
They know what's expected out of them, you know. But I mean, basically, they're everything from start to finish, you know. Before everybody gets here, till long after everybody has left, you know, preparing rigs and, you know, all the tackle, you know, besides the upkeep of the boat and, you know, making sure everything's good.
You can definitely tell the difference on this boat from other boats, because it's like you never have to call a mate. As soon as you're either snagged, the mate is right there to help you. When you're never asking for bait, the bait bucket's always full. So I can tell, you know what I'm saying, from personal experience, you run a top-notch crew here. So,
we try our best, try to stay on top of everything, you know. We basically try to run everything as if we were going to pay on a charter somewhere, you know.
Absolutely.
That you know, how you'd want it done.
Exactly.
How you'd want to be treated and
you give what you
taken
expect.
care of, you know.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So what do you think separates the Monger from other charter boats?
I don't know. We try hard. You know, we go at it hard. We definitely, you know, fish hard, and we don't give up.
Yeah,
that's for sure. You know.
That I've known that for sure.
We try to fill the boat every day. You know, and you know, we take pride in doing it. You know.
Absolutely. I remember on here one day, 726 ling.
Okay.
That was one hell of a day. I had meat in my freezer for months.
Yep, we definitely try to, you know, get the most of what we're going for, you know.
Yeah.
You know, depending on the species and the seasons and everything.
That's a good thing. So, what pushes you day after day to get up and keep doing this? Because it's not an easy job. It is, you know.
It's definitely a grind, but you know, you gotta love it to do it. You know.
Yeah.
If you don't love it, it'll show in your work. You know. That's I like taking people to catch fish. I always have. You know, and you know, that's what it's all about. And you know, showing people a good day in the water.
Absolutely, there's definitely a passion behind it.
Yeah. Without it, you know, it's a long grind, man. It'll eat you up. If you don't want to be in it,
stay home.
Yeah.
I mean, just from my personal experience, because I do fish a lot, and the way I see it is, I'm lucky enough to be invited a lot on this boat by Joe Murray and stuff like that. If you're in the hospital on life support, and you get a phone call from somebody that says, hey, I get a spot on the Monger, you better wake your ass up and get down in the fucking boat. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? But
people definitely like their trips. They like their spots. You know, we got a good following of great regular customers. You know what I mean? That you know, they do a lot of trips. They're serious fishermen. You know.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I know guys like Zagorski and Murray and Curtis. You know.
They were here today.
Yeah, they catch a lot of big fish on this boat.
They do.
I mean,
they fish hard though.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it looks you know, it looks like it's easy, but them guys fish, they fish hard all day long, you know.
They're at the
for
rail.
everything they go for, you know.
They're at the rail for 6-7 hours, and they're consistently doing it. I mean, especially Curtis.
That's a big part of it, you know. A big part of it's, you know, having the guys that, you know, fish hard. They're not going to swim into the cooler themselves. You know, that's for sure.
I can honestly say, though, the silent assassin is what I call him, Papa Curtis.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that guy...
He was here today.
I'm stuck at a 9.8 from my biggest blackfish. I haven't caught that double yet. And I'm standing right next to him, right there on that port side. And we're fishing basically the same hole. And he pulls up a 13. I pull up a 22-incher. He pulls up an 11. I pull up a 16-incher. And he pulls up a 10. I'm just like, God damn it, man. This guy's just doing like it's nothing. And I'm sitting here struggling.
He does that a lot.
Yeah. And he's so quiet. You never
got a lot
hear
of
him.
practice.
Yeah.
But yes, he's just goes about his fishing, you know.
Yeah. So, who is your most, I'm not going to say favorite, but memorable fisherman you have on this boat?
How about memorable fisherman? A memorable, you know, fisherman at times, you know, from a memorable catch maybe, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when Bob Bates caught his 22-pound blackfish, you know.
Yeah, that was amazing. I remember it sat in the tote and it basically filled up the whole tote. That was amazing.
You know, stuff like that, you know, is, we carry a lot of good guys, you know, a lot of chop busting, you know.
Yeah, I know that, what you call it. Now, out of the entire Fuckface crew, who is the biggest hack?
Definitely Zagorski. Zagorski hack is, I mean, that's his nickname, you know.
Yeah.
But he's a good sport.
Yeah, but you know what, though?
He's a good sport. He takes it.
We bust Joe's balls a lot, but the man, not consistently, but he brings up some very big fish.
He consistently does very well, you know.
Yeah.
He has his cold streaks, but, you know, we ride him hard and he gets, you know,
it's like
back going.
It's motivation. I wouldn't say ball busting. Oh man, so for guys coming up and want to do this for a living, like me for instance, or guys even just doing it now, what words of wisdom can you give them?
You gotta try hard, you know.
Yeah, grind.
It's not easy. A lot of people think it's easy.
Yeah.
They think it's gonna be easy, you know. Like I'm just gonna go run a boat.
Exactly.
It's gonna be easy. Maybe easy for a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
but
they don't understand the amount of hours and hours you gotta.
You gotta like it. You know what I mean? You're gonna you know, deal with boats, people, fishing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a lot. You know.
This is like 4 different jobs in one. You know, between customer service, maintaining the boat, finding the fish, cutting the fish. It's a lot of work.
The weather, you know.
Yeah, the weather. That's another thing.
You know, weather issues.
Yeah, it's.
But I mean, if somebody who really wants to do it, you got to take pride in it. You know, you got to be passionate about it. You know, if not, people will see it. You know,
you're not going to last in this business if you're just
the business will eat you up. Yeah. It's a tough business. You know, they say it's a dying business. Actually, you know.
Yeah, I know. Well, especially here in New Jersey,
compared to how it was, you know, years ago.
Yeah.
Not, you know, the regulations. You know,
Yeah, that's tough. It's like there's a meme on Facebook that the guy has like a 60-foot halibut, and it asks, "Is it Jersey legal?" Almost.
It's changed the way we fluke fish.
Yeah,
you know, I mean that's what makes fluking a specialty now. Is that, you know, like the size limits help actually build my business.
Yeah.
Even, you know, versus the way we used to fluke years ago. Now it's a specialty type fishery. You know, where you're not just drifting and dreaming in the sand, dragging killies. You know.
So for fluke, what do you prefer to use as bait?
Mostly, you know, jigs and gulp get it done. You know, that's you know, and strip baits. You know, big strip baits. We try to eliminate, again, because of the size limit. We try to eliminate even catching, you know, small fluke or small sea bass or anything that you'd be, you know, out of the water with, wasting your time. We try to just pinpoint on targeting the larger fluke. I mean, still catch a lot of shorts, but you know, we'd rather drag something through there that the short won't eat or that will make you miss them. That'll make you miss them. And you know, since we pinpointed that, we definitely see a lot, you know, a lot bigger catches of, you know, nice size quality fluke. Yeah,
bucktail fish are definitely a lot bigger quality than, let's say, the shorts.
We have upsized everything for the fluking over the years. Even when we've been bucktailing for, you know, a bunch of years, and you know, every year we used to use stinger hooks, and then we realized, hey, the stinger hook, all you're getting is you're just reeling up more shorts with the stinger hook.
Yeah.
Better to miss that short.
Exactly.
Have no stinger hook and have the 4-pounder grab it, right? But that's all stuff you see with with time. And we're fishing a lot of structure now. When years ago.
Structure is the way, though. For me, I mean, that's where I've always caught the bigger fish. And I mean, sometimes you do get stuck and it sucks. But if you want quality, you gotta fish the harder places, right?
Definitely, 100%. And it seems like the patterns have changed too. Not as many fish go in, in on the beach in the sand anymore. Not nearly as many. Besides the size of them, they seem like they changed their pattern.
Like
a lot more deeper fishing now.
In my, I guess you could say, home waters or Raritan Bay, I remember I would always start my season inside the Landing Highlands Marina. Go underneath the C Streak and catch 10, 11 pounders.
But you see that change. You see that change every year. You know what I mean?
Now you don't even get a bite.
We used to be up north fishing for 3 or 4 years. Then you're down south fishing for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
But they definitely don't seem like they go into the beach as much down our way. There's not as many fluke in the shell in the skinny water.
Yeah. Every fluke that I've caught this year was between 80 and 120 foot of water.
Yeah. We're always like 60 to 100.
Yeah. I haven't really had luck this year in shallow water, but I don't think, like a lot of the pencil pushers and all that crap, they say it's overfishing. I don't believe that. I believe that, especially in Raritan Bay with all the dredging and the sand replenishment, if you destroy the habitat, the fish is not going to come back.
Oh, that's definitely a part of it, no matter what, and that's the part that most people don't see, right? If you don't catch a fish where you used to catch it, it must mean there's none left, right?
Exactly.
But it's not necessarily true, right? The fish could be 20 miles offshore.
Exactly.
And,
but with
if they're not counted there,
with the hidden agendas that the politics have, the first thing they say is overfishing.
Yeah, but we see a lot of stuff changing.
Yeah.
With the fishing every year, like the sea bass. I mean, we have more sea bass now than we have, and bigger than we ever had. I mean, they're basically going to swim in the inlet soon.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, sea bass are everywhere. Just like miles long pods that are crazy. But let's see here. What is your biggest fish? Your biggest blackfish on this boat?
Yeah, it was over 22 pounds. We had a couple over 20.
Yeah.
A couple over 19.
Now, blackfish, I think, I'm not an expert, but I think blackfish grow a ½ inch every year or two.
Yeah, they're a slow grower.
So that
I don't know the exact, but they're definitely.
That must have been what, 60-year-old
definitely,
fish?
an older fish.
And I remember the one that Bob caught.
They're smart.
22 inches. You guys let it swim away. That was awesome.
They don't get that big by they don't get that big by being stupid.
A lot of people think that it's just a dumb fish. No, it's not. They're pretty smart. They're not stupid. Especially why they are so challenging to catch. I mean, I remember my very first blackfish trip was on this boat, and you stood next to me. You told me, leave a little bit of slack on your line so you don't move it too much, because if you move an inch, you're gonna spook them.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? This year,
or you might not, you might not spook, the little ones, right? But then you're wondering why a guy, consistently catches the bigger ones.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And,
like Curtis knows better.
Yep.
What you call it. But this year, I finally got a setup to where I can jig for blackfish, fast action rod, and I want to give that a shot, because
definitely we see our jig in early season. I see the jigs work better, skinny water, for sure.
Yeah.
You go deep, it's hit or miss. Some guys can do it.
Some can't,
and some can't.
It's kind of hard, fishing that light of a weight in deeper water too. So, what do you prefer? Freezing cold togging or t-shirt togging?
Nah, I like the freezing cold togging.
You like the you can't feel your fingers, right?
That's part of it to me, But not that it ain't fun catching them in t-shirts, but But I like our wintertime togging,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a lot of people say you guys are insane for going out there in 12-degree weather to catch a fish, but
the fishing warms you up.
If you haven't blackfished before, you don't understand the addictiveness of catching that fish. I mean, my biggest blackfish is 9.8 pounds, and I caught a 40-pound amberjack in Florida a couple months ago, and I'd rather catch the blackfish. The fight is just that much better. And it tastes a hell of a lot better too.
Yeah, they're they're one of the few fish that are good to eat, challenging to catch, right?
Yeah.
And it takes a knack, takes some practice.
Definitely. It's not like you're gonna.
One day you think you got it all figured out.
Yeah.
The next day you go, and they show you.
It's not one of those fish where you say, oh, let's go fishing today, go to Walmart and buy a $20 setup, and I'm just gonna go catch a blackfish. It doesn't work like that. Definitely takes some experience and some practice to get to it.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, hey, I want to thank you for your time and
anytime, bro.
Sitting here with us and explaining some
Anytime,
things.
bro.
And
We'll do it again.
Captain Jerry Postorino on the Fsih Monger Charters out of Point Pleasant, New Jersey.
Look us up. Give us a call in the winter.
Absolutely. I'll drop a link below so you guys can check them out, all right? So to close our episode, I want to give a big thank you to AAron Augusto, Captain Gregory, Fabrizzi at a Marathon for their fishing report and some knowledge. And also a very big thank you to, in my opinion, the best charter boat captain in the New Jersey area, Captain Jerry Postorino. Thank you for giving us your time and spreading some words out for people to listen. Well, thank you all for listening to the very first episode of Fishin' Magician TV's podcast. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you keep coming every week to listen. And give us a like, share, and follow on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Check out our website. There's always fishing news up there. You have a little bit of bio about myself, how I started fishing and everything like that. You can always check your weather on our website as well. If you go to the top tab where it says weather, it will directly put you into the Windy app. If you don't feel like doing it on your phone or downloading the Windy app, you can check the weather from anywhere in the world. Alright guys, thank you so much. Tight lines. See you next time. How you doing, folks? We're here with Captain Jerry Postorino on the Fsih Monger. I'll let him introduce himself.
Howdy, man.